Hi, Mark here. Tuesday, October the 28th, going on 9:30 a.m. Eastern. That's 1:30 p.m. GMT. And let's have a look how the US dollar is performing. There's the green candlestick. US dollar index strengthened today, but not before a push lower in the European session. You can see the open price 98.55 went all the way down to establish support at 98.33, and in so doing tested and broke below the ascending trend line. Buyers did step in now above that trend line, and I've got intraday resistance at 98.72. So a weak start for the US dollar, but certainly fighting back on the index. Let's have a look how the majors are looking, starting on the Euro US. There's the daily. You can see a red candlestick that's selling euro, buying US dollar, strong US dollar against the euro. I've got resistance at 116.68 and I've got support at 116.24. If I zoom in on that hourly, there you can see the strong sell-off in the euro, strong US dollar as the US session does get underway for the past 3 hours. And sellers of euro, buyers of US will be looking down here at the 116.24 support. A turnaround, a bounce up off here that would be buying euro, selling US dollar, would be looking up at the resistance at 116.68. Let's have a look at the pound against the US. Strong sell off here by the pound. Resistance 133.70. I've got support at 132.63. It's already 100 pip move lower. Selling pound, buying US dollar. US dollar sellers, uh, US dollar buyers, sorry, selling pound, buying US has struggled at this level before early October. We'll see whether US dollar buyers can maintain and break below this support level, or if buyers of pounds step in and we see a turnaround and buyers would be looking up at the 133.70. But certainly strong US dollar against the pound as the US session gets underway. US yen. Bit of a different looking pattern here. It was a solid red candlestick that's selling US, buying yen, so weak US dollar against the yen to start. I've got resistance at 152.77. I've got support at 151.74, but you can see the wick that has been left behind. That would be a bounce up of the support. That would be buying US and selling yen. Let's have a look at the hourly. There you see the turnaround in the last 3 hours. US dollar fighting back against the yen, looking up at resistance at 152.77. And then the US dollar against the Canadian. Relatively flat compared to the others. And you can see how for the past 4 or 5 days, price action contained in this narrow range between 139.81 and 140.08. So it's a pretty tight all round, sitting close to yesterday's close right now. Buyers, sellers have both tested, but no trend to speak of. Buyers will be looking up at the resistance and to break above 140. Sellers will be looking below the 139.80 support and look to push, test, break below that level and go lower. That would be selling US, buying Canadian. US dollar strength would be looking up at the 140 or to test higher. So US dollar definitely looking strong. Start off a little weak, bounced back, looking strong and strong going into this US session now. We'll see whether that can be maintained in US dollar strength, can be maintained through the US session, or if there's going to be some kind of a turnaround. We've got resistance, we've got support levels to work with. Good trading, and I'll see you at the end of day session.